and re-import it again into our project. Okay, I'm just going to check this to make sure that the normals are inverted again, so we're going to have to flip our normals. I'm also going to unify them just to be on the safe side. Export again. And re-import. And that's better. Now our normals are the right way around. Let's pull our window frame in. There. And before I start scaling it up, I'm actually going to place the glass inside the frame. This one here. It's just easier for me to position the glass in the frame down here before I start rotating it and placing it up in the building, because we're going to create a blueprint anyway. This glass is actually using a material, a physical material, so it should scale without stretching or anything like that. Still a little bit wide. And it needs to just be rotated around a little bit. For some reason this glass pane is on a slight angle. And I think it needs to go back a little bit. Okay, I'm finding it difficult to rotate here because it's at a weird angle. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll rotate the pane around so it's sitting at a more direct angle. So I'm not working at an off angle trying to do a rotation. I'm just making sure our window glass is actually sitting correctly. I think that should be okay. I'm going to create a blueprint here now. Again, I just do this so it creates a prefab that's then easy for me to move around my building. So I'll put in our blueprints folder, front small rectangle window underscore prefab. Okay, let's move that up into position. Now again, we're going to have to scale it because we scaled our building when we brought it into Unreal from Max to get it to look the correct size within our environment here. Do remember, guys, if you do have any questions or anything, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If you just want to pop in and say hello, that's cool. If you just want to watch, that's completely fine. I'm just going to get this into roughly the right position before I start doing the final scale on it to make sure it's the correct size. Again, I have all my snaps turned off because I need more control than having the snapping turned on. Let's duplicate that window. Rotate it around. Just push it back in a little bit. We may actually scale it in the in one direction. I think. Well, actually, no. We'll do a uniform scale. I don't want to take it out of its shape. Okay, let's bring in the main faction. Let's do the two on the back side before we bring in the main front one, I think. So I'm just going to duplicate it again. Again, I keep duplicating these assets so that we use the least amount of memory as possible. Okay, let's do another duplicate for the other side. Alright, now we'll bring in the main rectangular window from the front. Oh, and thank you Winter PT and Crosswind for following me. So, sorry guys, I just noticed. I'm too caught up in what I'm doing here. Thanks guys, I do appreciate it when you follow my Twitch channel, so thank you. I stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 5 PM Pacific in the US, 10 AM in Australia and 1 AM in the UK on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we'll call this one LRG RECT WIND, large rectangular window, F for front or front. Okay, now we know that we're going to have to do a make sure our pivot is in the middle of the object, do a reset on the X form, and we're also going to have to make sure our normals are flipped because for some reason it's coming in flipped in Unreal. Winter PT, I do work in a studio, yeah. Just for a bit of background on me, for anyone new to my channel, I work in architectural visualization now. I used to work in games development for game studios, and I also used to work doing cinema film work. I've been doing 3D for probably more than 10 years now. And I currently work for a studio doing ArchViz, but I also still do contract work for a game studio here, so I've done a bit of everything really, which is a great thing about being in 3D. You're not limited to doing one type of work. You can, like I was chatting to a guy yesterday in my channel saying you can work in advertising, you can work for architecture studios, you can work in film, you can work in games, you can do a whole variety of things as a 3D artist. And we were discussing texturing, and as I was explaining, you don't need to, it's always, most 3D artists, a studio will like their 3D artists to be able to texture, it's important. But do remember that you can specialize in areas as well, like just texture artists, or just character artists, or just environment artists, which is what I used to be. I was an environment artist in the games industry as well as a technical artist, so. And now I call myself a 3D artist because I do environment stuff and art viz stuff and all that sort of. I don't do characters. I don't do character work though. So no questions for me on characters because that's not my line of expertise. I don't do character animation or character art. There are guys much better than me that do that. Again, because they specialize in doing that. Winter PT is asking, is it really hard to get a job in this industry? Not really. Not so long as you, not so long as your skills are okay. And one of the reasons that I stream on Twitch is to encourage you guys to do 3D, because it's something I really love doing. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I know it can be very difficult if you've not worked in an industry before to break into that industry, to get a job doing it. But the most important thing is your skill. You have to keep practicing at doing 3D to make sure your skills are good. My advice to guys that have popped into my channel is, who have asked me what they should put in their portfolio, My advice is always less is more, so don't try and stuff your portfolio full of a lot of different stuff because you think that's more impressive, because it's not. I mentor junior artists at work and they've asked me what they should put in their portfolio. You can show me your portfolio. Yes, Winter PT. Don't post a link yet because Nightbot will time you out. Just wait a minute. I'll have to add you as a regular. And when I do that, then you can. But guys, don't post links until I add you to Nightbot as a regular. So you'll have to hang on 2 secs. Crosswind. Originally, that's what I was aiming for. You were to get into the industry, but after working in a corporate job and reading more about it, you don't think you will. Let's talk about that in just a minute. Just give me a sec, Winter PT, and I'll add you to Nightbot as a regular so you won't get timed out. I'm just doing that now. I will tell you when you can, but not yet. Just wait a minute. Okay, I think Winter PT, you should be good to post a link now if you want to. So if you want to show me your portfolio, feel free to post a link in chat. If you don't want to show it on stream though, feel free to send me an email, phil@phildoes3d.com if you want me to check it out or stream. I'm happy to do that, guys. I know not everybody likes having their work shown on stream. Are you okay for me to show everybody your work, Winter PT, on stream? If you're not, let me know, and I won't click your link while I'm on stream. But if you're quite happy for other people to see it, then I will. At Crosswind, I was really passionate about 3D, and once a hobby becomes a career, things kind of change. Now that's a very interesting story. It's okay. Okay, just before I do check out your portfolio, Winter PT, I just want to talk to Crosswind about what we were discussing here. It's very true, once you start working in an industry, that you can become very jaded very quickly. Now, and a good example of this is the games industry. Because the games industry is known to work their staff very hard, for very long hours, with very little appreciation. Now, I'm not saying this to turn you guys off that want to be game artists. That's because I was one, and I still do contract work for a game studio. You just have to bear in mind that your fantasy about what the game is, what the work job is like, is not always the reality. If you want to work in games development, and it's a great job to get into if you do want to do it, but just be prepared for very long hours, very tight deadlines, and very little appreciation for what you do. And when I say that, I mean game studios, unless you get work for one that's very large like Epic Games or Blizzard or one of those really large studios, they're going to put you on, they're going to hire you for the game, and most games, AAA games, will take about 2 years development, so you'll have a job for 2 years. Once the game is shipped, they generally let go of their staff, keep a very small skeleton crew on just to fix any problems. So if you want to go down that route for games, creating games, unless you work for a very large studio, you're probably going to be looking for a new job at a new studio every couple of years. No, Winter PT, I'm not trying to discourage you guys from doing what you love. Doing 3D is what I love, and that's why I do it. And you're not limited to just doing games, though. You can work in many different industries as a 3D artist. Like I said, you can do advertising, you can do arch viz, you can do film work, you can do all these different types of things, but film work can be problematic as well. Simply because they churn through a lot of stuff, a lot. You generally got to move around to a lot of different studios when you do film stuff. And you can become jaded as a result of having to look for a new studio every few years. But I don't want to discourage you guys from doing it. It's something I love doing, and I want you guys to be doing 3D because it's a great career to get into. But it's not, I wouldn't call it, particularly if you're working for games or film, stable. You're always going to have to keep moving around. A lot of the guys I know, a lot of my friends have to go overseas all the time to get work. That's just the nature of the game. Let me check out your portfolio now, though, Winter PT. And so Crosswind, I can understand where you're coming from. If you love doing 3D and you've got a corporate job that you like, then do it as a hobby. Keep practicing at what you do, and if your skill set is good enough, and you want to work in something different at some stage down the road, you've got the skills ready to go. So I'm just going to check out your work, Winter PT. And again, guys, if you're wondering about who I am and what I do, you can go to my website, phildoes3d.com, and you can read up about me here. Look at some of my past credits. Look at some of my some of the design work I've done. So yeah, by all means, go to phildoes3d.com and check out read up more about me if you want to know who I am and what I've done. But let's check out Winter PT's portfolio here. Get away from my internet here. So you just want to do what you love, Winter PT, which is fine. And I see you're a freelancer, which is good, because guys, just because you don't work for a studio, don't think that you can't do work for other people, because you can do freelance work. A lot of people are always looking for freelance artists. Okay, let's have a look. Again, I'm streaming and my internet in this country is pretty crappy, guys, so just give it a sec. That's very nice. Nice texture work. The model's nice and clean. Yeah, I really like the texturing work you've done here. As somebody who likes to texture in Mari and painting and stuff, I'm really big on making sure that you do your texturing correctly. And the wear you've got going on here is very nice around the edges here. Also nice, another beef of mine with guys that do 3D is having really hard edges on objects that aren't hard edged. It really breaks the realism, but you've got nice soft edges going where soft edges are required and hard edges where they're not. So that's, again, very good to see. Yep, that's very nice. What did you use to texture this with Winter PT? You're the one that you said you used Quixel. Was that you? I think it was you. My apologies if it wasn't you, if it was Crosswind that said it, but I think you said you used Quixel. The texturing is very nice. Nicely done. That's your polys, yep. Or your tries, I should say. You use Substance Painter, okay. Sorry, maybe it was you, Crosswind, that said you used Quixel. My apologies, guys. And the only reason I ask is because it looked like Substance Painter to me, and the only reason, again, I say that is because I know that Substance Painter, you can use a generator to do your wearing. And yeah, I can generally tell a Substance model because of the wearing that happens on the edges, because a lot of guys use a generator to do it, which is fine because that's what it's for. But it just gets back to what I was saying before about a lot of the models starting to look the same. Not that this does. This looks great. This is nicely done. Nice texturing, good model, nice soft edges. All the bugbears are covered. You've got everything done correctly. It looks good. It looks really good. But yeah, I thought it may have been Substance. Let's check out some of the others. The Substance Paint is a great program. I mean, I use it myself. What am I looking at here? Is my internet just really slow, or? Oh, okay, it's loading. I won't check that one out simply because I'm streaming and it can create problems for me. I prefer to check out the stills. So I'm assuming that this is a 3D thing. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't check them out because The internet in my country is pretty crappy, and it'll cause issues with OBS if I do. So I can really only look at stills at the moment until the internet is upgraded in where I live, which should be happening in a few months. What am I? Oh, okay. You're looking at a shader here. Okay. You got a bit going on in that shader. Sorry, it's just the technical artist in me looking at your shader tree here, your node layout. Okay. So this is a stylized ice, okay, fine. Yeah, again, I think this is one of those 3D ones that I can't really check out. Let's have a look at you. That's very nice, actually. Yeah, I really like that. There's some great detail going on here. Again, nice texturing. Nice physically based texturing. Yes, that's very nice. Very nice. That's a great model. Really great. So Winter PT is saying you can scroll down. I normally have one more. Okay. Yeah, it's nothing to do with the 3D model or anything. It's my internet connection is pretty crap in this country until I can upgrade it at the end of the year. And it's going to cause problems if I look at anything that has to download anything while I'm streaming. And I know it has problems because OBS has a little indicator telling me what my streaming quality is like. So yeah, at the moment, in a few months when the internet is upgraded in this area, I won't have a problem. But for the moment, yeah, I can't really check out anything that's going to a video link or anything that's going to cause me to have to download a lot while I'm uploading. But getting back to this model, that's a really nice model, and that's nicely physically textured as well. Really nice. How long did that take you to create Winter PT? Just a rough estimate. You know, weeks, months, I don't care. I'm just curious to know how long it took you to actually model and texture, because it's very nice model. Yeah, it looks great. You don't know, you made it like 3 years ago? Okay, that's fine. I'm just curious sometimes to find out how long these things have taken you guys to create too. That's great, really nice. And that's nice as well. It's a shame I can't check these out, but what I can see from the stills here, they look very nice for that style of model. A more painterly look of a model as opposed to a realistic one. This is an Unreal game world. Okay. Unreal project again. I don't know what version of Unreal you're using here to do the project, so I'm not really going to critique it until, yeah, you may be using an older version of Unreal, I don't know. You may be using UE4, I don't know. The rock texturing is nice. And it's nice rock texturing. it can be difficult to get to paint in texturing in a landscape in Unreal. 4.10, okay, yep. No, I'm assuming you painted up your landscape. You got the you created the landscape using the landscape tool in Unreal to lift up your landscape to mold it, which is fine. They made the tools in Unreal to do it. It's just not the best way to make a landscape. The best way, a better way to do it would be to use a height map in a third-party program like World Machine like World Machine or View to create a height map and bring that in and use that as your terrain creation. Just because the tools in Unreal are a bit hard, a bit clunky. They're a bit clunky. Not World Machine, yeah. Yep, World Machine is great to save out a height map and bring that into Unreal. That's the best way to do it, instead of trying to mold it in the engine itself with the tools that Epic created. Again, not that there's anything wrong with those tools that they made. They've done a great job. It's just that they're a bit clunky, and using something like World Machine will give you a much more realistic looking terrain. Oh, but that's nice. Your grass is looking nice. My only criticism, and I don't want you to take it the wrong way, is it looks a little flat. The lighting looks a little flat. I'm not sure what lighting you're using here. Let's just go back into Unreal here and look at my landscape. Now, sorry, Scrub Beetle music is a wee bit too loud compared to your voice. Thank you for pointing that out. I mean, I don't know, guys, unless you tell me. I'm going to turn it down, so just give me 2 seconds. I actually thought that myself when I looked at my stream the other day. Is that any better? Scrub Betty? Is it Scrub Betty? Yeah. I've turned it down 2 notches. Let me know if that's better for you. And again, thank you for popping into chat to tell me, because it's really important that you guys, if my music is too loud and you can't hear me, that you tell me. Because otherwise I'm going to be talking, you're not going to know what I'm saying. I'm sure you can do much better now, Winter PT. I've seen your modelling work, it looks great. And Crosswind is asking me, do game engines even have erosion tools? The last I played the Unity, no they don't. Game engines don't have erosion tools, you're quite right. But you can get that effect of erosion using World Machine, because that has erosion tools. And you save that height map out. You bring that height map into Unreal to create your landscape, which is what I've done here, but I used Eon View to create my... No problem. Thank you, Scrub Betty? Yeah. Again, sorry guys. Thank you, Scrub Betty, for telling me, because it's important, like I said, that you guys can hear me, and I can get a bit... I actually can't hear my music. Only you guys can, because I don't wear headphones. So it's completely silent for me here. Scrubbetti. Okay, thank you. My apologies. Guys regulars to my channel know that I get your usernames wrong all the time. If you sound it out like that for me, type it out like that, then I know. So Scrubbetti. Thank you, Scrubbetti. Yeah, because I can't hear the music myself. I don't wear headphones, so it's only you guys that hear the music. So I don't know if it's too loud or too soft until I play back my VOD later on. Cool. Again, sorry for getting it wrong. Yeah, but getting back to what Crosswind was talking about, no, game engines don't have erosion, but you can get around it by using World Machine, using their erosion tools, and then saving out a height map and bringing that into Unreal's landscape tool, which is what I've actually done here. Yeah, I'm using a height map to create my landscape. Crosswind is saying, actually, on the topic of terrain, what's a good way to integrate roads into terrain from something like World Machine? A good way to integrate roads into terrain from something like World Machine. Again, I don't tend to use World Machine anymore. I use Eon View. This program here, simply because in ArchViz I use this program a lot to do my rendering. So, just getting back to my site here quickly for a minute. All of these environments you see here were created in Eon View. They're all actually 3D environments, so full on 3D. And rendered in Eon View, and I do that. So for ArchViz, I like this program because I can create really realistic environments. So I tend to use View to make my terrains and save out the height map from that. I'm not so familiar with World Machine anymore. But I would assume it can be similar to View, where you, when you say you want to integrate your roads, I'm assuming you mean you have your terrain and then you created a road going through it in World Machine. Well, thank you, Winter PT. I'm glad you like my portfolio. That's only a small selection of my work. And again, it gets back to only showing a small bit of what you do. You don't show everything when you're making a portfolio. And I have to swap out some of those images. I like to occasionally swap it, mix it up a bit. Yeah, something like that. So what I would do is you'd flatten out the terrain where you want the road. In World Machine, say. Are you wondering how Rockstar did it with GTA? I don't know what they were using. They could have been using anything. They could have even made something in-house. But the way I would do it is I would, and Crosswind saying, how did the roads going through Countryside Mountain? Oh, okay. So they got roads going through the Countryside Mountains. Yep. Oh, you like Gothic Folly Scrub it. What is it again? I'm glad you like the Gothic Folly. Again, the Gothic Poly was actually done using photogrammetry, which is something I want to do on stream to show you guys as well. I've had a few people ask me how I do photogrammetry, what's the best way to do photogrammetry, and that's what I specialize in now. So I do a lot of photogrammetry for the studio I work at the moment, because we do a lot of heritage work, so period buildings, and photogrammetry comes in really handy for that. And that Gothic Folly is a good example of photogrammetry. So again, though, you still got to do a lot of cleanup work with photogrammetry. Don't think all you got to do is take a picture and you've got a model. It's not that easy. Getting back to the roads question, though, yeah, what I would do is I'd flatten out the terrain where you want your roads to go. Even Unreal has a flatten tool where it just flattens out an area under the brush. So you'd flatten out where you want your roads to go, because roads are on a flat surface. You would export that as a height map and bring it into, say, Unreal, so that your roads are already carved. And then you'd actually have to paint a texture of road or place a mesh of road along that terrain. A similar thing to the thing that I've done here with the entryway.